First up on the agenda is public comment. This is a period where we seek feedback from the public. There's topics that we probably can't address tonight, but we can use them for at other meetings. Having seen nobody here from the public, I guess we can move on to the next item, which is acceptance of minutes. I think we've got
We've actually got 3 sets of minutes.
3 sets of minutes, yeah. So we should probably do them one by one.
Yes.
So Eric, do you have the date of the meeting, the minutes?
Yeah.
Did you notify Sam, Smith?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right, we've got
I'm sorry.
September 10th.
Okay,
So the-
September 10th. I hope everybody's had a chance to look at them. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes of, was it September 10th, Eric? Yeah.
Motion to accept? Sorry.
You want to move?
Sure.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Just want to make a correction, Jeffrey Pickett's name ends in an E under non-voting.
Good catch.
Anything else? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of accepting the minutes of September 10, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? What's the next one, Eric?
I'll abstain, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. We have one abstention.
October 8th.
The next meeting, the next minutes for the meeting of October 8th. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second. Jake.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Same correction.
Nothing else? So all those in favor of accepting the minutes of
October 8th.
October 8th, thank you. Short-term memory. October 8th, say aye.
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 Opposed?
It'll be
Motion
Tuesday.
carries.
Is that going to be Lynn and Joel again? Jake and Katie.
Yeah, it was me and
That was
Katie.
Jake and Kate.
No, we,
Jake and,
we're on a limited run here, so.
Yeah, I did it.
oh, you did it. Okay. And the final one, Eric, is what date?
10/20,
Yeah, 29th.
October 29th?
we'll do this one.
Do we hear a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I beat him, too.
You did. Second?
Second.
You got to figure that one out, Eric.
Give it to Dennis.
You can do
think it
Diane
was
over me,
Dennis.
I'm good.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Same correction?
South School Building Committee at School Committee Conference Room.
Sorry.
Your
My
reminder.
watch is talking to me.
It's reminding you,
Yes, it is. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? No. All those in favor of accepting the minutes? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the invoice approval. We have an October invoice package with us. Vertex, maybe you guys can give us a rundown?
Joel, do you want to?
I'll take it. We have, thank you. We have 3 invoices for approval tonight. The first invoice is for Vertex for their work during design development and some other administrative costs are $53,610. We have an invoice from DRA for their work finishing off design development, plus some reimbursable cost. And we have a first invoice from W.T. Rich for pre-construction services. Fran Brutinetti, Anne Marie Raymond, and I met with Vertex on Monday morning, I think it's the 10th, for a detailed review of these invoices. After the review, we found them to be reasonable and in accordance with corresponding contract requirements. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I move that the building committee I move that the building committee recommend approval for the following invoices. Vertex invoice number OPM 119-36 for $53,610. DRA invoice number 21 for $287 and $287,190.60. And finally, WT Rich invoice number 1 for pre-construction services for $43,800, totaling $38,600.60. Fran?
384,000.
That's what I said. Isn't that what I said?
Close.
Yeah, close.
Yeah, I make a motion to recommend those.
No, I made the motion.
Oh, second.
Thank you, Fran.
I wasn't paying attention.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any
I'm
further
going to have to
discussion?
practice this more.
Hearing no further discussion, can we vote on approval of the October 31, 2025 invoice for the Stoughton South Elementary School? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And Eric, do you have the cover sheet? Yes. You just have, sign it, and then I'll take it.
Joe could say.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, the next item, thanks. The next item is project and MSBA updates. So I'm going to turn that over to Vertex.
So, last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess. Thank you. So 2 weeks ago, on October 27th, I believe, the special town meeting took place where the land swap articles passed. So that's good news. What that means is that we get to keep advancing with the process. What we need to do now is go in front of planning board for A&R approvals. That's tomorrow night. Should that pass, and we expect it will, on Friday, TJ will pick up the A&Rs signed and bring them to the Registry of Deeds. And hopefully that will be the last step that we need to kind of finalize the land swap. And moving forward with planning board, we have a couple extra meetings coming up. Site plan approval. So that's like the general site approval that needs to take place. We have a meeting in December 18th. Thank you, Courtney. December 18th is the first one, and there's going to be at least 2 hearings. So we'll go in front of them on the 18th. They will likely have some comments. We'll make some minor revisions if needed and bring back to a second hearing on January 22nd. And then there's a 2-week appeal period. So as early as February 12th, we could have site plan approval in place for the project, which would be great. Before that, we also need to meet with Conservation Commission. That would be on, I think we're targeting a date of January 4th.
December 4th is the first one.
Okay, so yeah, it needs to be in place before the second site planning board meeting, so I guess we're targeting December 4th for that. In other news, we were also officially assigned a commissioning agent, ICO Engineering. Brian, do you want to, I don't know if you have any more details on them. They reached out and.
Yeah, no, we've just been assigned, they reached out to me, I've done some work with ICO Engineering, a couple of projects that we're doing now, but this will be their first MSBA project, I believe. So this will be a good experience for us, but the main contact I have has worked with WSP Engineering, which is a big firm out of Boston. They may have gotten bought recently, but I know them as WSP. I think they started this company up maybe 4 or 5 years ago, so they will be subbing out the exterior facade and skin to a BE, is it BEA Engineering?
Yeah.
BEA Engineering will be a consultant through ISO Engineering for the facade testing and inspections. That's pretty much what we've known right now. They are just started reviewing the DD set and providing comments in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that reminds me as well, we got the design development submission into the MSBA last week, so big milestone, that's good news. We expect to have some official comments from them back within the next few weeks. Just as we've done with the past submissions, they'll send us their comments, and then we will have 2 weeks to respond to their comments as from the district's behalf. So we'll keep an eye out for those and keep you guys updated. So. I think that's probably it for
Joel?
project updates. Joel?
Eric and Brian, do you guys have any feeling about when we might see the project funding agreement?
So I would like to hope that following the taking the A&Rs to the Register of Deeds on the 14th, which is Friday, that might resolve the MSBA's concern. That we suspect that that's probably been what's holding us up at this point.
Does the executive board need to vote on it?
We're not sure yet.
Because they've got a meeting coming up in December,
Yeah.
and that would be great if they could do it then, but I don't know if we can get
Yeah, I think
on
once
the
we get the
agenda.
deeds filed at the registry, I think we'll make another contact call to them and ask and push that a little more. But right now, they basically said they want the deeds registered, and they aren't doing much until that point.
In our preliminary talk with them, they wanted to handle this as if it was not a change to the project.
Okay,
So it wouldn't have to go to the board, that it would just be what do they
Administration.
call it, staff level review, administrative review.
Typically, if the grant doesn't change, it doesn't really need a board.
all right, but we do need the project funding agreement in order to get reimbursed.
Indeed.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So hopefully, things go according to plan, we can make a call early next week to the MSBA to see if we can keep that moving.
Thank you.
Anything else for text, you guys? We good? Next item on the agenda is design updates, and I will turn that over to DRA.
So we sent a PDF out a couple days ago that outlined a few of the things that we're working on right now. And we wanted to share a little bit about the schedule, which involves school building committee meetings, working group meetings, and user group meetings. So all of these kind of overlap and hopefully work together to get us towards 60%. So right now, this is kind of a compressed or a truncated schedule. It doesn't take us all the way through the end of CDs. It's just through the end of our 60% target, which will be turned into MSBA in January. So it's a quick turnaround from the DD set to the 60%. DD is kind of like 40% CDs. So, and then we'll be doing a 90% submission, and then we'll turn in all final documents to them in June. But currently, we have a couple meetings scheduled with working group. We have a few user group meetings. We did have a site amenities meeting, which you saw those slides in the PDF that we sent. We have them tonight if we want to run through those quickly. And then December, we have a couple meetings for working group on geothermal, roof access and maintenance. We'll need Dennis's input on both of those, as well as his team, and then building materials and maintenance. So a lot of them are focused more on the nuts and bolts in December, and then we will start doing some more fun stuff in January in terms of looking more at finishes and that sort of thing, the theme, our building themes, which you see a little bit here and images that we've shared previously, is starting to look at, these aren't selected colors, these are just concepts of how we're giving, helping with wayfinding and identity throughout the building. So that's a quick overview of the upcoming meetings. Permitting, Eric touched a little bit on that. So tomorrow night is the A&R. December will be Concom and site plan review.
A&R stands for approval not required.
Oh, sorry.
It's a legal mechanism to create a lot, because that's what the land swap in essence did. it gave them a piece of land. For it to be kind of legally recognized, it has to be a lot with a number, and that's why it has to go to the Registry of Deeds.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, tomorrow, we should be getting comments back from Mass DOT on the 25% submittal review. We usually respond to those comments, and there'll be another submission to Mass DOT for the work that's going to be done for the signal on Park Street. And then January 22nd is also that date that Eric mentioned for what we're hoping to be the final site plan review. And then, go ahead, Joe.
We gotten any further on getting an address for the project?
We were talking about that this week.
Be kind of nice if we saw that. I tried to explain to somebody where it was, and we couldn't look it up in Google, so.
Yeah.
So with utility notification, we had the same problem too. We gave them a range, but after the A&R, we'll have, that'll help determine where we can have the address, if it's a Park Street address or, versus the DeStefano Way address. So that's something that's going to be determined by the town. And hopefully, after tomorrow night, that's something that's more feasible.
In my own experience, you just get together with the postmaster, usually the town engineer, and sometimes they'll go out to the site, I've done that, and sometimes they'll just say, okay, well, here's the number that we're going to give you, and that's it.
Yeah. We'll be getting Mark involved after tomorrow night.
That'll make life a little easier.
All right. So I know this is a little bit small, but this is that full schedule. If you guys saw it, you could see it on the PDF too. But what it includes here that we want to highlight also is we have a couple early trade packages. Because we have mass timber in the building, we're going to have an early package in December for design assist. So whoever is fabricating the mass timber is also helping with us and our design team and our engineers to work through shop drawings, work through details early on so that they can hit the ground running in May, June, and we'll be in good shape. And as well as early site enabling, early site work, steel and concrete. So those are the packages that WT Rich has identified that they'd like to have as early packages, which means anything before that June completion date.
So maybe we should, just to, I guess, to catch everyone else up that hasn't been necessarily involved in the working sessions. We do have, as Courtney mentioned, a few early release packages, and those will go out at roughly the 90% set, like site clearing, so like the tree clearing and the grubbing, and more importantly, the mass timber. And if anybody has any specific questions on that, maybe Courtney could help me answer. But we
No, I was going to say, next month's meeting, WT Rich will be here, they can answer.
WT Rich will be coming next month.
And regularly
forward
thereafter.
Every month. This today was not a lot for the WT, which we figured, starting next month, we'll talk more about early trade packages, more questions, and trying to get approval of those packages. So, starting next meeting, they'll be here.
The next slide, we just wanted to highlight some of the quality control components that go in. Vertex talked a little bit about having a commissioning agent on. So that's just one, eye on our drawings, and they usually look at our HVAC systems, they look at the building envelope, they look at our details, make sure everything's tight. They make suggestions, that we review and we can update our drawings if necessary. We have code review teams, we have ADA accessibility teams, engineers that review the acoustics in the building to make sure we're using the right kinds of ceilings and surfaces depending on the type of space, which is actually really important in this building because of the mass timber. There's an acoustic element there that, when you don't have an acoustic ceiling, how are you making sure that your reverberation times and how noise is bouncing off of different surfaces isn't going to cause problems in an educational environment. So we just wanted to list these just so you're aware of all this, the reports that we get throughout the process. It's not the first, but it's just the DD phase reports and oversight on our drawings. So, and then we have, the images that we shared of the interior of the building. These, I do have a little 3D model that I can share afterwards if we have some time, but these are, like I said, all in progress, colors aren't selected, but it's just concepts of the built environment that we're incorporating. So this is, anything you see on these images, we have included in our cost estimates. If there's a vinyl graphic shown, that's in our cost estimate. If there's amount of tile shown, that's in our cost estimate. But again, colors are not yet selected. So those are our 2 collaboration areas in one of the classrooms. And then this was the site user group meeting, which is, I think, we had 3 total, didn't we, for these? Which included some teacher input as well as Katie and Jake in these meetings. So we got feedback on the plazas. Dennis gave us some feedback as well. We looked at the different types of play equipment. So we have the younger kids' playground with the little track around it and a nature play area, as well as the older kids have their own zone at the back of the school, which is in between the 2 classroom wings. So I love this image of the kids running around the track, because I think that's what I would have the most fun with when I was younger, just getting energy out. But yeah, so there's a little track around both play areas.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Because I know it became an issue at the DAW on having our playgrounds fenced in. Are these playgrounds going to be fenced in?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's visible here, but we do have fencing around. It's
Okay.
kind of covered by the bushes, which are more
Well,
of a
that's
visual
that's
block.
good. I just want to make sure no kids will be running off into the forest, so.
Yes, actually, on the site plan there,
Yeah.
we might be more visible, but we do have fencing around the backside, as well as, like, the kinder area is enclosed too. And a fence around the outdoor play that's around the cafeteria too.
We can electrify.
And everything you can see is kind of themed with this school in the woods idea, all of the play structures, the nature play, even the surfacing, for the soft surface, rubber surface. It looks like mulch, but it's not actually mulch, which I'm sure Dennis appreciates. And then, yeah, this is the area at the back of the school for the older kids. And we have swings on both sides. That was one of the big elements. And having that space to walk or run around the play area too. So kids can,
That's not our school, correct?
pardon?
That's not our school. Our school doesn't look like that.
Well, the massing is
Now, I understand
the
what you're saying.
same.
I just want to make sure. that-
Yeah, we put a little note here so that folks know that it's not all one color.
People may be watching and say, "Wait a minute, I
Landscape
don't recognize that."
architects,
Yeah.
view of the world.
Yeah, they focus on the site
Concept,
elements.
sure.
And then there's a little space, there's a teacher workroom is in this zone, in the central area of the school here. And then, teachers are able to walk out this way and access this. So this is not an entrance for students, this is really for staff access to the play area. And then the student gardens and outdoor classroom area outside one of the classroom wings. And this is all within that fence zone as well. These are precedent images for the hard surface play outside the cafeteria. So there will be enough seating for a full class. We're going to specify tables with little chessboards on them, and then there's a couple basketball hoops and a gaga pit. All right, so that's it for the PowerPoint. I do have the Enscape model open, and I want to caution everyone, I literally downloaded this program 2 days ago. So, we have people in our office that are very good at using this. I will do my best. But what we are going to do for everyone, and we did this for SD, is do an interactive map with, we didn't do the QR codes in SD, but what we're going to do is something so that you can scan the QR code, and you'll be able to have the image pop up on your phone. And when you spin around, you can go around, a space. You won't be able to walk through the building, but you'll be able to spin around and look. Hold on.
We actually have that up on the website still from the schematics, if you want to take a look at the old walkthrough.
Yep, see, I already went under the foundation. Hold on, wait for it. There it is.
The recovery.
I'm so used to using a different program, and the controls for this are literally the opposite of that. So, hold on. There we go, back on the ground. But it'll be much easier when you use your smartphones or your tablet to scan the code and look around the building. So you can see the learning stair here, the main entrance. There's going to be a lot of natural light, and it hopefully will feel very welcoming with the, the timber columns and the timber ceiling. This ceiling itself is also acoustic. It has some neat little reveals in there where you actually have an acoustic batting in there, which will help with noise in the space as well. But I really apologize because I'm like, hold on. I can see now here. Let's see if I can get back on the ground. Let me try a different area and see if we go in the calf.
Yeah, click on the map.
Nope,
Eye level.
this isn't helpful, but I promise the other one will be. Nope. I promise it went a little bit better in the office too than it's going now. All right, let me see if I can pull this back and get us back to a good spot here. There we go. I wonder if I duplicate my screen, it's a lot easier to control this way.
Yeah, why you?
Hmm? I just went somehow above the building. Yeah. There we go. In the
You gotta
calf.
share your screen.
Yep. So, cafeteria space, we're not showing all the tables right now, but we also have the wood in the cafeteria space, acoustic panels, a little seating area that's separated with a wall, and we're gonna have a decorative partition here for a more quiet zone. And then you have a lot of glazing. Actually, we have some colored glazing here incorporated into the window system, and then you have the outside seating tables out here too. So you'll see the tables, you'll see the basketball hoops out here, but then you'll see trees in the background too, which will be nice. So for the one that we do load, we'll load the site model and everything too, as well as the furniture, so you don't have floating kids, but and you won't be crawling on the floor. But like I said, I downloaded this 2 days ago. So the platform, one of the meetings that we're going to have soon is we want to coordinate with SMAC on integrating broadcasting capabilities in this space as well as the gym space too. So that we'll have a projection screen that's mounted on the structure here that aims towards this screen, and someone should be able to present from this top level here. So that's going to be in December is what we're targeting for that meeting. But yeah, so as soon as we have that ready, we're targeting to have that ready to go for the next building committee meeting so that you can all test the QR codes and fly around. Yeah. That's a little bit easier. If you want to download a free trial of Enscape and give it a go, let me know. I'll send you a link.
Joel looks like he's ready.
Joel?
I don't think so.
All right. Okay. That's all we had for tonight.
Mr. Wolf?
I have two questions. First one's pretty easy, and it's for DRA. You guys are using Sullivan for your code review. Good firm. I've used them on a lot of projects. Very, very smart people. Are they going to be doing the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection also?
No, we rely on our consultants to do, their own code review on their disciplines. So he's doing architectural. We do have a dedicated ADA, reviewer as well. But in terms of egress and we do have for the energy code, though, that's very unique discipline. We do have a consultant for that.
Okay. Not the answer I wanted to hear, but okay.
We do reach out to them on code-specific questions when things come up,
Well,
regarding
for
fire
those of us who remember the high school project, we had a problem with the plumbing code review, and I really don't want to go through that again. It was a very large change order. And I'm trying to figure out a way to avoid that. I've already talked to some people about it in town hall. But
Yeah, so we do have a different plumbing engineer actually
I
on this
understand
project.
that, but we have the same plumbing inspector, so
Yeah,
Right.
make
we're-
sure that we're on
We're
the same
setting
page.
up a meeting with him and Jack and the building department. Yeah.
Good, all right, that's fine. That's good enough for me, as long as that's underway.
Yeah.
And the last question I have is really for the school department. I've done in a lot of elementary schools over the course of the past 20 years, and this is the first elementary school that I've looked at that didn't have a connecting door between classrooms. And I was curious I wanted to know if the school department or somebody from the school department could explain to those of us who aren't in the school department why you did that.
Yeah, I mean, I can go, and then Kate, if you want to.
Sure, go ahead.
So, we don't design that way anymore. It's actually a huge hindrance in the learning environments now because you can travel very quickly between rooms. It's not like utilized in that way. So when we sat down with the design team, they actually told us they don't design schools like that at all anymore. And I was very thankful to hear that because it makes for a very challenging learning environment to be able to go through all these doors. Like, for example, at the South, you can get from one whole wing to another by going through classroom doors. So it's like it's a potential safety concern because you can access all the rooms if you can get into one room. And two, when you're like working with kids, you want to be able to control the flow of traffic academically for kids getting in and out of classrooms, not going between doors. So that's the biggest positive that I got out of that. I don't know, Kate, if you want to.
Yeah, no, just to echo what Jake said, I think one of the primary reasons that the schools aren't designed to have those connecting doors is for safety purposes. Because the idea is if someone gets into an open classroom, then they, in theory, then have access to all of those connecting rooms in any kind of a situation where the school's compromised. So by eliminating that connecting door, then you're actually protecting more people, God forbid something should happen.
Have we got a sign off from the town public safety people?
I know they've been involved in the process every step of the way.
I don't
Have they
believe
looked at
it's,
this and said one way or the other?
I don't believe it's code requirement, so.
Yeah,
I know it's not a requirement,
no
I'm
longer a
just
code
curious.
requirement, and as I said, we're going to be setting up a meeting with Jack, but it's not a code issue. It's what we hear, the most frequent comment is from teachers who say, when I step out of the classroom, I'd really like somebody able to open that door and keep an eye on my classroom or something. But that's really the only positive for it these days. The corridors, the buildings are fire rated. We have sprinklers. Back in the day, 50s and 60s, the reason you had those doors was not for the teacher to keep an eye on her neighbor or teacher, but was for, a second way out because the buildings weren't as fire protected back then and, didn't have the same level of building security. But the other sort of more practical reasons too we hear, one, they're an acoustic leak. And these days, especially in elementary schools, acoustics are very important. It's even a prerequisite for LEED. They recognize that, LEED for Schools recognizes that the learning environment, especially for kids, has to be quiet, or some kids just miss out on half the lesson if they're far from the speaker and so forth. So in a door is, even the best of them is not as good as a solid wall in terms of keeping sound out from one classroom to the other. And the other is just the amount of, nowadays we have not just a whiteboard, as you know, but there's always a monitor too on the teaching wall. And by the time you stack up all the things that want to be on one wall, having a door there is using up valuable real estate too on the wall. surface between classrooms. So there's a variety of negatives to it, and they cost more. A door costs more than a wall. So there are a lot of negatives to it. And so it's not that we, wouldn't do it if a district really wanted it. It's just that we haven't seen it in our
No,
designs.
that's why I asked the district.
Yeah, for those
I also-
various reasons.
I toured a bunch of new schools at the beginning of this project that had recently been done, and not one of them had any connecting doors between them. And I actually really liked how they all looked without connecting doors.
Carl, do you think the DESE is going to stick their nose into something like this at any time?
Oh, I mean, they've seen lots of schools come through, recently designed. that
Well, that's
don't
the
have
only thing that-
Connecting doors, yeah,
Kind of worried me too, because
yeah.
DESE can be a little unpredictable at sometimes.
DESE only signs off on special needs
Special ed.
design and special needs.
Yeah, but they get their
But
hands.
but they're not in the approvals process at all.
I understand that, but still, they're the champion of unfunded mandates, as I like to say. So
They've been known for that.
they've been known for that. And I just wanted to make sure that suddenly we just have a finished school and DESE comes and says, you know what, we've decided that this is the way it should be.
They don't, since the MSBA was created, they don't have that kind of clout anymore on the building construction.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Everybody hear Joe say that? Okay. Okay, thank you very much for the clarification.
Sure.
Hearing none? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Well, it's more of a personal thing. Is there an opportunity moving forward for any of the meetings if we cannot attend? I know we want to do in person, but on a case-by-case basis, can we join virtually? I just wanted to throw that out there.
As long as it's posted.
Yeah, I think the executive order still stands. I think it
Yeah.
was more of a logistical thing
Yeah,
about having it all in person, especially when we have to vote.
okay.
So-
Because it would take away, can you not vote virtually?
You have to do a roll call vote instead of a,
Well, pre-COVID, when we were on the high school building committee, I recall, I think, somebody called in, somebody was in Europe. It wasn't you, it was, I might have been Maggie. I think Maggie was in Europe or something, and she ended up coming in and she was allowed to vote. You remember that? I think that's what I recall.
but they issued new rules, if you will, since COVID. And it's very clearly stated that it's got to be a roll call vote.
So I would like to attend the December meeting. I am going to be out on paternity leave, so I'm just saying it at the meeting now that I would like the opportunity to join virtually for that meeting, if that is okay with the committee.
Sure, duly
All right,
noted. We'll,
great. Thank you.
Joe, in our working group discussions, we did talk about perhaps having a sort of pattern or rhythm to these meetings where maybe every third one is in person totally, and the others are totally hybrid, totally remote, so that we don't get into hybrid kind of meetings where it is a little awkward, selfishly, for us, trying to present both in person and to people on the screen, and to have good back and forth conversations and so forth. So I think TJ was thinking about that.
I'll talk to TJ and
yeah.
we'll see if we can't work something out.
Yeah.
Anything else? So, since there's nothing else, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
A lot of seconds on that one. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, folks.